Okay, hello, this is W1REX Rex, and what we're going to do is show you the other modification of crystals for the Acorn Tube transmitter. We have a video up that shows how to modify a DC31. Right now we're going to do an FT241-A. So here's the Acorn Tube transmitter, and because I wanted to keep it really retro, I put it in an FT243 socket, which you would ordinarily put an FT243 crystal in. Makes it look old-timey, matches up with the sockets and everything else, vacuum tube, all that kind of jazz. Problem is, most people don't have FT243 crystals. I'm going to set this aside for a minute and bring on another item here. I don't have that problem because I'm a crystal fanatic, and in here is almost a complete set of quartz crystals starting at 5675, going, well, there's actually two layers. So they start at 5625 and go up, 5675 and goes up to 8650. And down here are 40 meter. There's I think 12 40 meter crystals starting at 323. There's 7,000, and it goes all the way up to 7,300 in 25 steps. But I don't really want to use those, and I can't duplicate that for anybody else. So what we have to do is take an old crystal. It's harder to use FT243s. When you take them apart, you look inside, you'll see that they're pretty cramped and all that kind of jazz. But a FT241 has the exact same pin spacing along with the DC31. This is an a CR8. Exact same size, and I think primarily the difference is how the crystals are inside, what kind of shape and hold. But anyway, we're going to run all those off the side, and we're going to end up with just this FT241A, and we're going to put an HC49 crystal inside. The thing about the Acorn is the fact that it's a QRP rig, low power. There's not due to the circuitry, there's not a lot of current going through the crystals, so it will certainly not tax an HC49 crystal. So what we have to do is take this thing apart and modify it. And there's two screws on the bottom, and all we have to do is pull those apart. I've done this many times. Getting to be all that. Most of the time, oh my goodness, I've already picked this thing up and modified it. Uh-oh, jeez, I should start all over again. Doggone it. Rats. Rats. Okay. We'll try another one. This is what we're going to end up with. When you take this thing apart, you're going to see a crazy crystal in here with two wires coming out of the post, and just basically unsolder it, bend this thing in, and resolder it up, and it fits right inside. So we'll take a brand new one. We'll put that aside. Okay, now this one here, that's the only problem. Sometimes these are potted, and you got to dig around to find the screw. They're either potted or painted, so you sort of have to work your screwdriver around a little bit to find the screw in the slot, so we can take those apart. The thing is, these things were made back in the 50s and 60s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and there was scads of manufacturers, and I don't think the government actually said, how they make them. They just wanted to make sure they fit in the same holders, and the construction was up to the actual manufacturer. So when you open these things up, sometimes they're a surprise. Now in this case, there's a little rubber gasket right here, so I'm gonna, and it's usually pretty stuck. So I'm just gonna try to work it with my Swiss Army knife, and there it is. So once we take that apart, and I don't know how in the hell this thing, I mean, I've worked with quartz crystals for many years, and I don't know how this thing even works. But that was a crystal for 27.2 megacycle. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this off. Okay, I've got an iron off to the side that's been heating up. I'm gonna clean the tip so it's very clean. Add a little bit of goop in there so that we can. Oh, I'm gonna bring in the star here again. I think I'll just try putting that thing on there, because what I want to do is I want to provide a little bit of weight so I can do two-handed unsoldering. So I'm going to hold on to that wire. I'm going to add some heat to that pin and see if I can't unwind it. I don't want to overheat it. Okay. I could put it in a vise, but I just don't happen to have a vise right handy. So I'm just going to come on. Yeah, I need a little bit more weight. A little more weight there. So I'm going to bring in Big Bertha here. I'm just gonna take the corner of it, hold that thing down. Now I got some counterbalance to take and unwind that thing. I'm trying to get rid of some of that old solder too. I'll take some new solder and just add some nice fresh solder and flux on it. When I'm ready, I'll take this guy, since I've done this several times before. I'm going to go pretty close to the case, bend it at a right angle, the pin width is a little bit wider than an HC49, so I'm gonna put this down and just see where I gotta bend them again. And I'm gonna bend them down by 90 degrees. And hopefully they're gonna fit right on those two pins. I need a little bit more. Okay. So I'm going to go back to adding a little bit of weight there, and I'm going to cut these pins a little short, just so they don't come down and hit the table while I'm trying to solder them. And I'll bring in my clean iron. And just put a little bit of solder on the things to make it a little bit easier to put them on the post. I want to make sure that the can does not touch those pins. Okay, looks good. And Let's clean up the excess leads. Always put your finger over the thing so the leads don't fly. And there's a quick mod. So we can take the top, put it back on. Gasket is still right there, you can see it. And put the 2 screws in. Of course, you can add any HC49 into these things. That's why I kind of like them. I have a ton of these things. I bought on eBay by the dozens and dozens. So there we are. We've got not a 27.2 megacycle now. We've got a 7030 crystal in there. I will mark it with a Sharpie just to, you can't see it, but later on I'll put a nicer label on it. And of course now this guy can go back to my transmitter. I don't know if you can see it. I can take that ST243 out, put in that 241, and now I have a transmitter running at 7030. And that's what we're going to do for crystals. I can't afford to send everybody out FT243s, and of course we couldn't find them even when we did. So I do have a project, a kit where you can actually grind your own crystal and make redo a 70 or make a 7030 to fit inside an FT243. But that's another whole Buildathon project that we did years ago, and works pretty nice. I got a lot of people who buy them and play with quartz crystals all the time. Well, that's it. So I got to get on to the next video on mounting the polyvaricon. So I'll get this thing up online ASAP. Thank you. Bye.